Hi, this is Ruben de Los Santos with Acclaim Energy, and I wanted to bring you guys an energy insight today. Today's energy insight is legislation based. It's based on House Bill 433, which was filed in November of last year by State Representative Ken King out of District 88. I'm going to be totally agnostic with regards to the bill. I'm just going to state some facts around it and what it means and what I think it means with respect to who it could impact. So House Bill 433 seeks to impose a tax on electricity that's generated by fuel sources other than natural gas. Here in Texas, we are blessed with multiple types of electricity generation fuel source types. These include solar, nuclear, wind. Almost half, a little under half of our generation resources actually already generated through natural gas resources. And we also have coal. So, as I mentioned, this would be a tax on generators generators that generate electricity through fuel sources other than natural gas. So the tax amount is 1 cent. The way the bill is written, it's 1 cent for every kilowatt hour generated, and so this would be a tax based on their annual generation amount. 1 kilowatt hour is not a lot of electricity. When you're looking at when you're talking about power plants, you really need to ramp it up to gigawatt hours. 1 gigawatt hour is equal to 1 million kilowatt hours. So when you do the conversion, it's basically $1,000 per gigawatt hour generated through non-natural gas resources. So what does that mean with respect to cost? Based on some resources in ERCOT, based on ERCOT resources and fuel and energy that's been generated by different fuel types, 206,783 gigawatt hours were generated by non-natural gas resources. So what does that mean money-wise? It's $206,782,928 of a tax that would be imposed on generators. So the concern is that, you know, if it's imposed on generators, is it going to filter down to the retail suppliers, and is it going to eventually filter down to the consumer, which, you know, most taxes eventually impact consumers. The current natural gas, or last year's natural gas gigawatt hour generation was already 173,796, just as an FYI. So as I mentioned, we have quite a bit of natural gas resources, and new generation that comes into the mix will most likely be natural gas as well as renewable, depending on federal subsidies and whatnot that may continue or may be enhanced. But as I mentioned, the reason that this bill is important is just the fact that it can potentially impact retail electric providers and eventually impact consumers. So we'll be watching this bill. As I mentioned, it was filed in November of last year. It has not made a committee yet, so it hasn't been modified or adjusted, and if it does make it to committee and if there are comments on it and if it changes, we'll keep you up to speed on any of those changes and what impacts it may have going forward. Thank you for your time. I hope you found this helpful. Tune in next time for another podcast, and if you need help managing your energy, don't hesitate to contact us at acclaimenergy.com or at 713 524-0250. Thanks.